Okay, so how to time travel into your desired reality? Time traveling, Nathan. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? Time traveling, bro. Do you know what the fuck you're talking about? Like nobody's done that. Like you sound insane. I know. How to time travel into your desired reality. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to actually gain an understanding of what I mean by this by first talking about the subconscious. I forgot to spell subconscious. I think that's it. Yeah. SCIO? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Anyway, the subconscious mind. Now, when it comes to the subconscious mind, a lot of people call it the quote unquote unconscious mind, but that is not really a thing. Unconscious just means something you're not conscious of, something you're not aware of, something your attention isn't placed upon. I don't know if that's actually really a real thing, to be honest. But yeah, our focus is the subconscious mind, alright? Now, the subconscious mind, you've probably been told a multitude of things about it. It controls 95% of your actions, maybe even 99%. It is literally the underlying thing behind the reality you live in. It is the cause behind your reality, which is the effect. Now, your subconscious mind does not have the ability to distinguish between two things. Right. It does not have the ability to distinguish between imagination and reality. And this is one thing that I haven't said before, which is very important. It does not have the ability to distinguish between your imagination and your reality and past or future. These two things don't exist to your subconscious mind. The only thing that does exist, that's a terrible error, is the present. What do you mean by this, Nathan? How can there be no past or no future when we consciously think of a past and a future? Well, the past and the future are really just man-made concepts that we use to, I guess, understand or create a concept of linear time. But hey, that's not what we're here for. The truth here, the real truth here, is in the present. What do you mean that the subconscious mind only thinks about the present? Well, think of it this way, yeah? Imagine any memory that brings you any sort of intense emotion. This can be a memory that is traumatic to you. This can be a memory that was lovely to you. A memory could be, I don't know, your 4th birthday. It could be your 4th birthday, or it could be that time you got chased by a dog. Okay, now think about that memory and just genuinely, imagine that memory, like remember that memory. Memories have the ability to bring, I don't really like that word, to cause you to feel intense emotions. I wonder, what is it that Nathan's alluding to here? What's he trying to say? Well, I'm gonna stop tickling your balls. What I'm trying to tell you is your memories are viewed from a viewpoint of the present concerning your subconscious mind. When concerning your subconscious mind, your memories are viewed from a viewpoint of the present, not the past or the future, but something that is rather happening now. And this is because, like I said before, your subconscious mind does not have the ability to distinguish between imagination or reality. And reality. I think it works in both cases, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, it does not have the ability to distinguish between imagination and reality. So, therefore, whatever you think within your imagination and you have a strong emotional feeling towards, your subconscious mind views that as something you're experiencing now. Are you guys starting to understand what I'm alluding to? You know, the title was literally how to time travel into your desire, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, cool. Also, this part is going to be expanded upon too, how it controls 95% of your actions. Cool. Now that I've got this, simple explanation of, just some information about the subconscious mind that we're going to use later, I'm now going to extrapolate to you the 7 keys behind your identity and your state of consciousness. I meant to draw B there, I don't know how that happened. Behind your identity or state of consciousness or frequency. You can call it whatever you want, it's still the same thing at the end of the day. Your identity / state of consciousness. So, the first key, all of the keys, none of them should be put above the other. None of them should be pedestalized above the other because they are all of the same importance. I am just numbering them for numbering's sake, I guess, because I want to. The first key is your beliefs. Now, when it comes to beliefs, people are literally told your beliefs are literally just the thoughts that come up within your head the most, spring up within your head, spawn in your head. You get what I mean? The thoughts that you think the most. That's what a lot of people think your beliefs are, which they're not entirely wrong about. But if you want to truly understand what your beliefs are, the core way to understand it, the best way to understand it is very simple, but also kind of fucking harsh. It is literally just to look at the life you live in, the desired reality that you have. Sorry, not the desired reality, the reality that you live in. What the fuck? Why am I struggling to speak? The life that you live in, the reality that you live in. That is literally the core epicenter of your beliefs. The life that you live is literally determined by your beliefs. Okay? That is a simple way to see what your beliefs are. So, if in your life there is a lack of opportunity, there are people who are always trying to do you dirty, there are no good partners around, everyone's cheating on someone, everyone's just treating their partners terribly, that is probably because you have beliefs that coincide with that. You probably have beliefs that tell you, that make you think, that make you see that there are cheating partners everywhere. You have beliefs that make you think the dating life is terrible, that make you think there are no opportunities in regards to your career, in regards to getting money, in regards to getting wealthy. That is basically it. That basically sums up your beliefs. A lot of people say that you believe what you see, or you see what you believe. Sorry, no, you believe what you see. It's actually you see. Oh shit. You see what you believe. Yeah, you actually see what you believe. That's why simple, non-world shattering example of this is cool. When a person who isn't scared of bees and actually loves bees and loves insects is walking down, I don't know, a pavement on the park, next to the park, or just walking down a park or sitting on a bench and a bee lands on their arm, they're happy, they're ecstatic, or they're calm. They're not worried about what the bee's going to do. They're playing with the bee. They're having fun with the bee. Even if they get stung, they're like, oh, okay, it's just I got stung. The bee was just trying to protect itself. Alright, let me continue on my life. Now, the other person who hates bees, hates insects, is scared of insects and bees, when they sit on that bench and that bee lands on them, for like 3 to 5 seconds, their reality, their life is shit because the bees landed on them. They're scared, they're worried, they're this, they're that. So they've either tried to kill the bee, and they missed and they've been stung or whatever, and now their day's been ruined. Okay, this is just a non-world shattering example. Obviously, I could go into examples that are a bit more extreme or a bit more intense, but I'm just here to tell you what your mind can currently accept. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just here to tell you whatever the fuck I want to tell you. Whether your mind's able to accept it or not really my problem, to be honest. But yeah, let us continue. I just want to make it clear that I am not here to stay away from your cognitive dissonance. I am not here to not break your world perceptions or your beliefs. I don't care. I'm not saying this in a rude way, just saying it to let you know, innit? So you don't get shocked when it does happen. Now, next, after your beliefs, I'm currently thinking, which one am I going to select? After your beliefs, your conviction. Now, conviction is as simple as what you believe it is possible for you to do, or how much trust you have within yourself. Self-trust and conviction kind of intertwine. Conviction is what is developed after self-trust is built. Once self-trust is built, the more self-trust is built, the more you're able to tap into conviction. And conviction is literally knowing. Conviction is knowing that something is going to happen, or knowing that something has happened, even if the external life or your life or your world isn't showing it to you yet. So conviction, examples of conviction would be like, cool, you're talking to someone and they say something, but before they say it, you knew they were going to say that. Like, you had 100% conviction that the person was going to say that. That's why you're even like, I knew you were going to say that. Another example of conviction, very, very light example, literally just turning on your light switch. When you turn on your light switch, you don't have any sense of doubt. You don't leave any room for the possibility of doubt. You know the light switch is going to turn on. You don't believe it is going to turn on. You know it is going to turn on. I don't really know what to write yet. I'm just going to say links with self-trust. With S-trust. Self-trust. Okay. What is next? Perception. Now, everybody knows what perception is, probably, hopefully. Your perception is simply how you perceive things around you. It is simply how you perceive the world around you. It is simply how you perceive people. It is how you perceive life, okay? Might be starting to notice something here. These two kind of seem to be intertwined, don't you think? Beliefs, perception, because your beliefs determine your perception. You get me? But anyways, that ain't the main point. Right now we're focusing on perception. Perception, as I already said, is how you perceive things to be. The current you, or the old you, because obviously you watched this video because you want to time travel into your desired self, into your desired reality. The old you may perceive things, will definitely perceive things differently to the you that you want to become. So, yeah, perception, how you perceive the world. But I feel like using the word in the definition is just cheating. Okay, cool. Let's say your perception is an idea about the world or people that you hold as true. Because the truth is, whatever the subconscious mind accepts as truth is what one will experience. Okay? So, idea accepted as truth. Now, after you have your perception, you've got your expectations. Like I said, there's no after or before. These are all just things that exist simultaneously, and they're all things that can intertwine or not intertwine, and they're all things that have the exact same level of importance, so you should work on all of them. Or at least keep track of all of them so you know whether your internal work is working or not. Because the truth is, you can lie to me, you can lie to your dad, you can lie to your mom, you can lie to your girl, you can lie to your man, but you cannot lie to yourself. Sorry, I think is my door open? No, it isn't. I believe I locked it. You cannot lie to yourself. Your state of consciousness, your identity knows when you're lying to yourself. Now, continuing on, your expectations. So, your expectations are literally just, it's self-explanatory. It's what you expect. Everybody knows what expect means. Come on now. It's what you expect. The old you will have different expectations to the you, to the new you. Now, moving on, after the expectation, we have your attention. What you focus on. See, this kind of intertwines with perception, because your brain has this thing called the reticular activating system. It literally filters out what you see based upon your perception and your beliefs. So your attention is obviously linked to what you see. So someone who is, I guess, within the wealth state of consciousness, their attention is not focused on all of the poverty within the world, which is why a lot of the time when a rich person is next to a poor person, and they're having a debate or a conversation about something, or they're just talking, the rich person can actually struggle to relate to the poor person, probably will struggle to relate to the poor person. Because, like I said before, your attention is what you focus on. Rich people, more often than not, focus on all of the abundance in the world, the opportunities for money, the opportunities for career advancement. Poor people actually focus on scarcity, there being a lack of opportunities, money not being available to anyone, money being something that is very difficult to come by. Are you getting what I'm saying here? Are you seeing the two contrasting views, the two contrasting opinions? And like I said before, a perception is an idea simply accepted as truth. And after I said this, I also said the subconscious mind. As I said before, the subconscious mind, what it accepts as truth, is what you experience. Now, moving on. Moving on. After your attention, you have your reactions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's one left, guys. Ooh, there's one left. Anyways, your reactions. This is simply what you react to. There's the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is experiencing something and then allowing that single experience to determine or to change your entire reality. Allowing that reaction to that experience to become a belief, which then affects your perceptions, which then affects your expectations, which then affects your attention. Now, responding is simply seeing it for what it is. It was an experience that was temporary. Doesn't mean it's an experience that has to always happen again. For example, just because you've been cheated on once doesn't mean every other partner that you get in the future has to cheat on you. I know the girls who, have the I hate men mentality, all the guys who have the can't trust bitches mentality. Also, stop calling girls bitches, guys. That's probably why you don't really experience, having, good partners. Anyways, yeah, you two. The reason why you guys probably experience terrible partners is because, you allow that one experience to determine how your entire life is going to be, and then you have your preconceived notions, which then cause you to experience those preconceived notions because that was your expectation, like I said, and your attention was literally focused on all of the bad things about your partner, and you didn't even give yourself the ability to focus on any good things about them, and could all led to the person cheating. But hey, we're diverging a bit here, we're going a bit off script. Cool. Like I was saying, reactions. Your reactions are key. So make sure you're responding instead of reacting. By responding, I mean not letting that experience determine your reality later on. And what the hell am I? React. There we go. Okay, and finally, we have the final key. Emotionally charged thought. This one is self-explanatory. You don't really have to. I don't have to put a dash and then explain what it is. Your emotionally charged thoughts are literally thoughts with emotional charge. Okay. There's this quote that I like to say a lot. Alright, I like to explain and say a lot, and like to talk about the misconception of it a lot. This quote within the Bible, I believe it is Proverbs chapter 23 verse 7. If you read the Bible, you know exactly what quote I'm talking about. Even if you don't, you probably heard it anyways. As a man thinketh, so shall he be, or so is he. Sorry, actually, I think it is so is he. Sorry, I apologize. Sorry about that, guys. Now, there's one specific sector of this quote that's missing. I wonder if you can figure it out before I type it here. Because this specific sector of this quote is literally the game changer. It's the light bulb moment. It's what makes you realize what this quote was really saying. It's what makes you understand the quote in the same way the 1% do, in the same way that the esoteric do. The esoteric, that's not really a real thing, but esoteric is a term used to describe things that are either secret or things that only a small group of people can understand. Hence why I said the 1% understand. Now, as a man thinketh, so is he. What's the one part that is missing here? I'm gonna hope you can figure it out before I've managed to write it out. As a man thinketh in... Remember what I said about emotionally charged thoughts, guys? Remember what I said about this? In his heart. How the fuck do I'm trying to draw a heart. 1 second. I think it's gonna write a heart. In his heart. So he is. You get me? This is the full quote. Yeah. This is the game changer part of the quote. Now, what's this quote trying to say? Alright? Emotionally charged thoughts in his heart. What are you trying to tell me, Nathan? Well, I'm trying to tell you. I'm gonna first tell you in the realm of science. Right. So this is you, okay? I'm gonna just redraw that stick man because I believe it looks terrible. Why can't I just draw it? Oh, that head's a bit too large. Cool. This is you, right? Now, you have a brain in here, okay? Just imagine that to be your brain. And here is your your heart. Fucking hell, why I keep forgetting how to draw a heart? Like, I didn't do it multiple times in primary school. Here is your heart, okay? Now here is your brain. Alright, so our hearts and our brains, funnily, wow. Funnily, how are you supposed to, funnily, I'm just gonna say funnily enough, have electromagnetic fields. This is our brain's electromagnetic field. Maybe I haven't drank. Yeah, I need to drink some more water. I think that's it. Anyways, our brains have an electromagnetic field, and our hearts have an electromagnetic field. The brain one, yeah, cool. We have an electromagnetic field in our brain, but the one that is important is the heart, because the brain's electromagnetic field is about this size. The heart's is massive. It covers like our entire body, mate. Okay, it covers basically the entire body. Like it's like a. If you ever watched Dragon Ball Z, and you know when a man charge up or they go Super Saiyan, they've got a whole aura around them. Imagine that basically being your heart's electromagnetic field. Now, this electromagnetic field is able to, you know, attract things to us, you know, change matter, etc. Blah 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 blah. Without going too deep into the stuff, because that's not what we're here for. We're just here for the useful information, the information we can apply practically. Now, oh, flatmates just got back from whatever he was doing. Yep, talking about Mario Kart. Fucking hell. Yep, you do that. Yeah, be on your way. Get to your room, please. Just recording a video, yeah. Come on, lad. Chop. Thanks. You guys probably didn't even hear him, to be honest. I don't even know what I deal with that. Yeah. But anyways, like I said, you have two electromagnetic fields. Here they are. This is what this Bible quote is truly extrapolating. It's truly saying. In his heart, so he is. That is why your emotionally charged thoughts are fucking key, mate. You know, and why it's part of, you know, the 7 keys. Come on, lads. You also notice that 7 is a number of completion. God created the heavens and the earth within 7 days. Wow. Interesting, isn't it? Anyways, continuing on. Like I said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So that is why your emotionally charged thoughts are very important, because you know your emotionally charged thoughts are the ones that seep into your subconscious mind. Intense emotion, guys. What did I say here? What did I say here? Oh, I haven't said it yet, I guess. Anyways, your subconscious mind, like I said, it stores memories. These memories were events that occurred that sprung up a deep, intense level of emotion. Whether that emotion was negative or positive, that's what it did. You get me? So as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So now, thinking back, what did I say before about beliefs? That your beliefs are made up of experiences that you had before. Now, you were a kid, you didn't know any better, so you didn't reframe these experiences using or abusing the fact that your subconscious mind doesn't have the ability to distinguish between imagination and reality, or past and future. You didn't know all this stuff then, but you do know this stuff now, don't you? Now, moving on. No, wait, there's one more Bible quote that I want to extrapolate here. Actually, you know what, I'm going to leave it for later. So, moving on. We already explained the 7 keys here. So, now we know that there is a new you that you can become, and there's currently an old you that you currently are, or that you're trying to shift away from. So, this old you, right? Identities and states of consciousness, they're the same thing, by the way. I'm just saying both of them, you know, because I want to. Identities and states of consciousness don't want to stop existing. They want to stay alive. Imagine them like genuine entities that want to stay alive. Let me think. What's an anime where they were like, cool. If you watch Fate, or if you watch Fate or Death Note. In Death Note, Light Yagami has a Shinigami that's constantly like behind him, whatever that he talks to or whatever that gives him the power of the Death Note, whatever. What was the other anime I mentioned? How did I forget the other anime I mentioned? Doesn't matter. Anyways, like I said, imagine it like an entity that is attached to your identity, or you can just imagine it being your identity itself. Identities and states of consciousness do not want to stop existing. So, there are 4 traits of an identity that you're trying to shift away from that won't stop existing, that won't stop bringing you back into those old patterns, into those old habits, into that old life that you're trying to escape. The first one is attention seeking. Are you seeing this? How this is linking towards this bad boy here? This bad boy here? Calm. Attention seeking. Your old identity constantly looks for your attention. Your attention gives it the energy it needs to thrive, to survive. Okay? So it will do things like it will cause you to do things or cause you to experience things that literally bring your attention to the identity itself, to disliking who you are, to feeling shame for yourself. Now, the second feature of your old identity is that it is scared. Like I said, it is scared. Oh my gosh, that is terrible handwriting right there, or mouse writing, I guess. Anyways, it is scared. Oh yeah, if you didn't know, the reason why the handwriting is so terrible is because I write all of this with a mouse. May switch to a Mac and stylus instead, depending on how I'm feeling, really, you know. If I want to, I will. If I don't want to, I won't. Anyways, scared. What do you mean by scared? What I mean by scared is that it projects fear into you or onto you whenever you do something which isn't in accordance with that identity. For example, let's say you're someone with social anxiety, all right? If you live in the UK, you know what a Nando's is, right? Everybody goes Nando's with their friends or family every other week or after a couple months, you know, how often you do. Maybe you don't go to Nando's, maybe you don't like Nando's, maybe you go to Pepe's instead. Okay, Pepe's is not a good example. Maybe you go to, what's another restaurant? Okay, I'm just gonna keep it at Nando's. If you don't know what Nando's is, search it out, man. Okay, you should know what it is if you live in the UK. Scared. It projects fear onto you. So, like I said, say you're someone with social anxiety, right? And you usually go Nando's with your friends. Let's say you're feeling a Nando's, but none of your friends want to go. So you think, why don't I just go by myself? Boom. The fear starts to hit you. Because you're a socially anxious person, you're going by yourself, you're going to start thinking, wait, aren't people going to look at me weird? Why am I going to Nando's by myself? Why am I eating by myself? When truly it's actually kind of normal. Like, I was literally eating Nando's with my boys the other day, and we saw at least 3 to 4 people coming in, and then we heard table for one so many times. We're like, oh, right, so it's actually a normal thing. People actually do that. And like I said, because it is projecting fear onto you, fear is an emotion that is linked to that is born, or is an emotion that causes or links to, I don't really know how to, I'll just say links to. It links to your primal brain, all right? It links to your fight or flight instinct. And when you're in your fight or flight state, obviously depending on the level, cortisol is released, in the primal brain, yada, yada, yada. Basically, what happens is your levels of awareness begin to fall. Because your level of awareness is beginning to fall, you hyper focus on that one emotion, what is causing that emotion to happen. And because you hyper focus on that, your attention is placed upon that. And so therefore your perception is also altered as well. Your perception and your attention are altered. Because you think, nobody goes down and knows about himself, that's weird. Like, people look at me like a weirdo, like, well, am I like a strange guy, am I just going down by myself? You're going to be unable to even see, or even your brain will literally filter out. Like I said, remember what I said before, reticular activating system. Your brain will literally filter out the information that will, I guess, go on to the different path. Your brain will filter out the information that will show you that people do go to nights by themselves. You literally won't clock it. You won't realize it. Another simple example of the reticular activating system is when you play that game, Yellow Car No Returns with your boys. When you played Yellow Car No Returns with your boys, think about it. Didn't a lot more yellow cars start to spawn than often? For anyone who doesn't know, Yellow Car No Returns is a game where if you saw a yellow car, you'd be able to punch your boy, you'd be able to give him a bang on the arm. Pause. Yellow Car No Returns is literally a prime example of the reticular activating system. Now, moving on. No, not moving on yet. Because your old identity will try and project this fear onto you or make you scared, or you'll start to feel scared when doing an action that doesn't coincide within the old identity, instead coincide within a new identity. The identity senses that it is losing its energy, it's losing its drive, its power. So it literally projects the fear onto you. It's going to make you think thoughts that are going to make you feel like you shouldn't do it, which is why you should do it. You get what I mean? A lot of the time, I know you've seen quotes everywhere of people saying things like, if you feel scared, do it. If you feel scared to jump, don't wait until you're not scared. Jump while you're scared. Things like that. Those motivational quotes on Insta that you see. Now, what that is basically telling you is, take that risk. Okay? Take that risk. Wait, just for legal purposes, it's not financial advice. Take that risk. Take that jump. Take that different route. Do that thing you wouldn't usually do. Now, number 3. The third one. Your old identity loves negativity. It is a sadist. Okay? It loves negativity. It thrives off of negative emotions. You, obviously, consciously, when we live in lives that we don't want to live, we consciously think, oh man, I hate this, blah, 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 blah. I hate feeling these negative emotions. But the truth is, you kind of love it. Because you don't decide to feel positive emotions instead. You don't decide to transmute that energy. You kind of get addicted to it. A lot of people say the most addictive substance in life or reality is, I don't know, cocaine, weed. What's the other one? Meth? Is that what it's called? I think so. But no, the truthful, most addictive thing in life is your identity. No, it's not your identity, sorry. It's identities or states of consciousness. Because think about it, that's why it's so difficult to change and to become a different person, because you're addicted to the you that you currently are, or to the old you. That's why it's so difficult to shift into the new you. Now, number 4. Actually, before number 4, is there anything I missed for number 3? Right, so your old identity is a sadist, it loves negativity. So your aim is to not take, but also not love negativity. The aim is to feel negative emotions and feel them correctly. So what I mean by this is, in regards to negative emotions, emotional energy really is just the same thing at a different side of the pole, and the only thing that determines what pole that is at, whether it's at a positive pole or a negative pole, is the label you've applied upon the experience that is giving you that emotion. So if you think about it this way, before emotions within our body, we literally have neural networks all around our body. We don't just have it within our brain. Okay? When you feel fearful, sad, angry, anxious, you feel it around your solar plexus, right? You feel it around your stomach, or that feeling in your chest. Okay? Now think about it this way: when you get excited, don't you feel that same emotional energy within the same area? Your chest puffs up. You giggle. You take a deep breath. You feel that emotional energy within around the same area, and that's because it is the same energy, but the label given to it based upon the experience that has caused it is what determines whether it is positive or negative. Like I said before, the subconscious mind, whatever it accepts as truth, is exactly what you experience. Which is why we have the ability to reframe things when we take conscious control. Now, the last one, the final feature of your old identity that's latching onto you, that you want to escape from, it is very, very reactive. It is very, very active. And what did I say about reactions earlier? Reactions cause your attention to shift. They cause your perception to shift if your attention has shifted to a high enough degree or low enough degree. You get what I mean? So, like I said, everything is all coinciding with each other. Everything is entangled. Like I said, quantum entanglement, baby. Now, with this information, what we can do is not give. Sorry, let me just move this a bit to the left. What we can do is not give it attention. What we can do is take the actions we fear. Yeah, we fear, I guess. But okay, guys, I'm not telling you to, I don't know, if the action is something crazy, then you obviously fear it for a good fucking reason. Not fear it, but you probably shouldn't do it if it's in a state action. Before someone takes this and says, I don't know, I'm gonna jump off a plane. Extreme example, you get me? A lot of negativity. Like I said, reframe perception on emotions. Reframe your perception on emotions, and after you reframed it, because obviously I told you about how emotional energy is really the same thing, just at different sides of the pole. Knowing this, you understand that you can shift from one pole to the other. So feel the emotion fully, until neutral. Don't try and reject the emotional energy, because the resistance is what creates the power. You get me? Don't resist it, just let it flow. Let yourself feel the emotion as much as you possibly can. This means sit down or lay down, slap your hand on your stomach or wherever you're feeling that emotion, or focus on wherever you're feeling that emotion, and focus on what you feel and feel it fully, because eventually you feel it to the point where you reach a state of neutrality. Now, in regards to emotions, how long it takes really just depends on the experience that's causing the emotion, how long it takes you to relax. Everybody takes different amounts, that's crazy, different amounts of times to relax due to different childhoods. A lot of people, if you grew up in the streets, you grew up in the ghetto, in the hood, whatever you want to call it, you had to always be alert. I'm not saying this like I did, alright? I don't feel the need to tell you guys about my childhood life. You get me? Anyways, or you grew up in, you know, a life where you could relax easily. You grew up in a childhood where you could relax easily. Now, reactive. I basically already explained this to you, but just respond instead of react. Which is realizing it is simply just an event or an action that you've taken that your old identity has put in place for you to feel terrible again. Like I said, loves negativity, for you to feel terrible so that you can go back to that old identity and start identifying with that old you again. Now, wow, I've encompassed a lot here. I wonder how long this video is going to be. Anyways, now to the actual physical steps to take. You know, I've already given you some, but I'm going to put this all into one thing, basically. And how we're going to use the fact that the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between past or future or imagination and reality, and how we're going to use cause and effect, and how I could have sworn I wrote action, so I'm like, yeah, action, and how we're going to talk about how your state of consciousness impacts your actions, the actions you take. Alright, now, first of all, you've got to realize that, oh shit, what the fuck? What has happened? What the buddy? Why does that keep happening to me? Scary. Anyways, first of all, you got to realize that. Did I just do it again? Oh, I guess I did. Anyways, you've got to realize that your wait. No. Let's get you calm, actually. Sorry about that, guys. You've got to realize that your actions, they actually don't do shit by themselves. This is probably going to make sense to you after I explain this, how it truly works. So in the realm of cause, you have your state of consciousness, could be state of consciousness, you can call it your identity, you can call it your frequency, all the same shit. Like I said before, your state of consciousness is what affects your intuition. Now, a lot of people basically just view, certain people view intuition as, I'm pretty sure that's the main, anyways, the main general consensus about intuition is it's a message, you know, from God, or it's your inner guidance, your something that just helps you navigate life, right? Cool. So your state of consciousness determines your intuition, right? And intuition stands for inner guidance. So basically guidance from within. Now, after your intuition, you get some mental nudges. Now, these mental nudges are thoughts that compel you to take specific actions. So this leads to an action being taken, and that then leads to reality being changed. Now, state of consciousness, intuition, inner guidance, mental nudge, action, reality. Do you get what I mean when I say actions are kind of like, you know, they ain't doing jack shit by themselves? And this is why. Sorry, wrong thing. This is why. I need more space to actually write this. This is why you can go to the gym, you You say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym. Now I'm going to start being a gym lad. I'm going to go to the gym a lot. You go to the gym. You go for like 2 weeks. Maybe to about, I don't know, a month or 2 months. And then you fall off. You're like, wait, what the fuck? What happened? I was doing so well. Why'd I fall off? Why is the gym so long to do now? Why is the gym so tiring? Why is the gym so this? Why is the gym so that? Why'd I hate the gym? It is because you were trying to take an action while you were not mentally aligned with the identity of somebody who does take that action. You cannot take an action in the realm of fitness while your state of consciousness is in the realm of unfitness. What am I saying here? What I'm saying is you must have already become that person who takes that action. Because if you are not, cool, temporarily, like I said, you do it for 2 weeks or 2 months, temporarily, you will change reality, temporarily. But eventually, within a short amount of time, you will come back to being that same old person. And it's because you cannot take an action in said realm while not being in the state of consciousness of said realm. You cannot take an action of being in the realm of, you're not taking action in the realm of wealth while your state of consciousness is in the realm of poverty. You cannot take an action in the realm of love while your state of consciousness is in the realm of hate. Because cool, it may temporarily affect your reality, but an effect cannot affect an effect. You get what I'm saying? Like I said, this part here is the cause, alright? And this part here is the effect. You get what I'm saying? So you cannot take an action in the realm of fitness while your state of consciousness is in the realm of unfitness. You cannot take an action in the realm of freedom while your state of consciousness is in the realm of the survival mode, the survival paradigm. So what I'm saying here is, you've got the importance mixed up. And this is because you've been conditioned to see life from this viewpoint. And this viewpoint is physical action equals results. To change results, change action. That's what you've been told, right? Yeah, that doesn't really work. For maybe about 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. It's not going to work for a long time, okay? To actually change the effect. Sorry, wait, actually, there's one more thing here. This is trying to change the effect with an effect. That's literally what you're trying to do here. You're trying to change an effect with an effect. That's not going to work. What you have to do is work within the causal realms. You get me? Your state of consciousness, which affects your intuition, which affects your inner guidance, which then affects your mental nudges, which then affects the actions you take, the reality you live in. So yes, action is important. It is very important. But what is also important in regards to action is the state of consciousness from which you operate when taking said action. A lot of people confuse effort with struggle. Two different things. Effort is when you're mentally aligned. Struggle is when you're not mentally aligned. So, Nathan, you've explained all of this stuff to us, but how do we use this stuff? But I have to tell you like now, bro. So, like I've already said, you cannot take the right action if you're not already within that state of consciousness or already have that identity. So what can you do to have that identity? Now, we want to go all the way back and talk about how your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality, or the past or the future, or I mean the past or the future doesn't exist to it, and only the present does. So what you're going to do is you're going to you're going to relax. You're going to relax. Okay? Relaxation is key. You cannot enter the state of consciousness which you want to enter if you're not relaxed, because if you're not relaxed, your brain does not have the ability to go into what is called a theta state. Now, there are 4 different brainwave states. There is the beta, alpha, theta, and my latissimus dorsi was like cramping or whatever. If you don't know what that is, it's one of the muscles in your back. That's what happens when you go to the gym and get bored or like me. Anyways, the theta state. And then finally, delta. I think it's called delta. Yeah, delta. Beta, wide awake. This is the state you're probably in right now. Alpha, slightly relaxed. This is the state you feel you're in just before feeling drowsy. Theta, deeply relaxed. This is the state you're in when you are feeling drowsy. It's equal to drowsiness. It's the state you're in when you just wake up. It's the state you're in just before you're about to fall asleep. Alpha is probably the state you're in after, I don't know, you've had your morning coffee, or the state you're in, you know, I don't know, a minute after you jump on your bed. Delta, you're just asleep. Now, in the theta state, this is where your mind is most impressionable. Now, how do we get into the theta state? It is simple. Be still and relaxed. Still and relaxed. Now, how do we get to the still and relaxed point? Simple as lay down. Is it lay down or lie down? Out for political debate. Now, you lay down or sit down. Close your eyes. And just relax. Let your mind get to a point where it almost feels as if it's empty. Like, not fully empty, because you know that's not really possible, you know, as in regards to your mind, you think, I think it's 9,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day, the average person. Lay down or sit down, close your eyes and just relax, okay? Allow your thoughts to flow without judging them or reacting to them. Allow your thoughts to flow. Now, after you've allowed your thoughts to flow and you're relaxed, you will know when your mind feels like a little bit empty, your body feels extremely relaxed, or it just feels like you're not really thinking much, or really thinking anything. But you are thinking, because you're always thinking thoughts. It's impossible to not think, because you're literally thinking, oh, I'm not thinking. You know what I mean? Anyways, allow your thoughts to flow. And once you've allowed your thoughts to flow, and you're relaxed and you feel a bit drowsy or tired and you don't want to move, you don't want to get off the bed, imagine a short scene. You want to keep it short, because if you keep it long, it'll be a very difficult scene to loop. Imagine a short scene, and imagine okay, obviously you've done this, you're doing all this to get something, right? Like I said before, the most addictive thing in life is actually states of consciousness and identities. Okay, so even boiling the point down to wanting, okay, cool. What nigga doesn't want a Lamborghini, or like a Lamborghini Urus, or I don't know, a M4 Comp? Bit drastic in terms of price difference, but hey, you get what I mean. What nigga doesn't want that? What you're going to do is understand that what you really want is not what you want, but what you want brings you. If you get what I mean. That new shoe you want. Okay, I'm not gonna say new shoe because that's a bit, that's a bit minuscule. That new monthly goal you want, that new monthly goal of money making that you want, right? That new, I don't know, 10k in a month, or 20k in a month, or 5k in a month, or 2k in a month that you want, yeah? You don't really want the 2k, or the 10k, or the 5k, or the 20k, or the 40k, or the 50k, or the 100k, or the 200k, or the 1 million. What you really want is the internal state it will put you in. Now, this internal state, in the case of money, probably make you feel secure, make you feel relieved, make you feel, maybe a temporary sense of joy because you've achieved it. Make you feel confident, I guess, because a lot of people determine their self-confidence based upon how much money they've got in their bank account. Now, do you get what I mean here? What you want is the internal state it's going to put you in. The internal emotions you're going to feel. That's what you want. That drink you want, that milkshake you want to get from that restaurant that's closed. Oh, damn it, it's closed. The reason why you want that milkshake is because it's going to make you feel satisfied. The reason why you want that new Canada Goose jacket that's apparently extremely warm, keeps you extremely warm, is because it's going to make you have an internal state of feeling comfortable. What you want are not the things that you want. What you really want is the internal state, or the state of consciousness that they bring. Are you getting what I'm saying here now? When I say that the most addictive thing in the world is not cocaine or meth or weed or lean, because apparently niggas are doing lean nowadays or something. What you really want is the internal state. Sorry, not what you really want. The most addictive thing in the world is actually identities and states of consciousness or frequency, whatever you want to call it. Now, we're reverse engineering the process here. So imagine a short scene where you're experiencing someone Alexa, pause. Sorry about that, guys. When you're experiencing someone congratulating or realizing you've achieved or have your desire. Because the whole reason why we want to shift into this new person is because, we've recognized the fact that when it comes to the things that we have. It is really all dependent on the type of person you are. Chances are the guy who owns the Lamborghini and, you know, built his way to, I don't know, having a 10 million a month business thinks entirely different, has an entirely different set of these 7 keys to the guy who, I don't know, he's trying to get his first car, right? And he wants like a Dinger because that's all he can afford, right? They've got an entirely different set of 7 keys to that person. Now, the reason why you're imagining a short scene, experiencing someone congratulating or realizing that you've achieved or have your desires, because we want to utilize the 5 senses. Like I already said here, we're utilizing the fact that the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality, and we are laying down, sitting down, closing our eyes and relaxing because we're trying to do it in the theta state, because the theta state is when your subconscious mind is most impressionable. Now, experiencing someone congratulating or realizing you've achieved or have your desire utilizes the 5 physical senses in this way. 1, tone. The way the person is going to congratulate you, there, you're using your sense of hearing. 2, sight. The way the person is going to express themselves, the body language they will have, the face they'll make, you're using sight. Last one, touch. A lot of people, you know, when we're meeting people, our loved ones or our boys or our girls, whatever, I don't know, if it's your girlfriend, probably give her a hug. If it's your mom, probably give her a hug. If it's your boy, probably give him a fist bump or dap him up, handshake, whatever, or maybe even a hug, whatever. There, you're utilizing touch. Those are 3 senses already. You don't need to utilize all 5 because, you know, that's too much strain. All right, you're doing too much work. All right, and if even 3 is too much, try utilizing 2 or at least 1. Okay, I mean, you're gonna have to utilize 1 for there to be a scene. Okay, try utilizing at least 2. Okay, and the whole point is to feel it as much as possible. So zoom in, feel it, zoom in onto that person's expressions, their body language, zoom in or listen in to the tone of voice that they're using, right? Or zoom in to how the fist bump feels or how the hug feels. That is what is going to bring up the intense emotion within you. It's going to make your subconscious mind actually think and believe that you are experiencing that reality right here and now. Because like I said, it cannot distinguish between imagination and reality, and it has no concept of a past or future, only the present. Now, you're going to keep doing this, keep looping. And when I say loop, I mean you're going to fade it in and out, so it's almost natural, because, you know, when you blink, you're basically fading things in and out of your eyesight, which is basically natural. So yeah, so imagine like a blink or whatever, or you're just fading it in or out. You're going to keep looping it until you feel no emotion. And the reason why you're going to keep looping it until you feel no emotions, because if it begins to get to a point where you're not feeling any emotion, you'll start to feel like you're forcing it or it's exhausting. When it gets to that point, as soon as it gets to that point, stop. Also, it takes, like I said before, it takes a different amount of people, a multitude of different amounts of times to relax, depending on, you know, the type of life the person lived. It can take 20 minutes, it can take 10 minutes, 5 minutes, it can take 40 minutes, it can take an hour. However long it takes, firm it, do it. How long? Because you're good, mate. This is fucking worth it, lad. Anyways, however long it takes, just do it. Now, keep looping it until you feel no emotion. Now, after you're done, imagine the first sentence you'd say or think after achieving the desire. Like I said before, everybody knows, or most people have the understanding that somebody has something because of who they are. Okay, so imagine the first thing you'd say or think after achieving the desire Examples could be, I don't know, say you just hit your first 10k month, you'd be like, wow, I've just hit 10k. Wow, I've just hit 10k. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. ICBI. Can't believe it. Sorry, just shortening it. Say you've I don't know, you've gained a good physique. Wow, I'm so bolo now, or so fit. Just a sentence you think right after achieving the desire. Okay. Also, in the use case where you can't really find someone you can't really find someone that would be happy for you after achieving your desire, you can simply just imagine you're a role model, realizing you've achieved your desire, or a past version of yourself. You could literally be talking to you as a kid, and you as a kid could be saying, wow, you really did this, I can't believe this, like there's no way you're me. I know you guys have seen those TikToks of basically there'll be 3 different characters. There'll be one girl, one boy, and then one kid with a cap on or something. The boy, his face you can clearly see, will be like, oh, you're me from the future, and then him from the future will just be like a normal guy, and then the girl will be like, oh, you're me from the future, and then it'll just be a normal adult woman and then the kid with the cap, he'll see himself in the future and it'll be like a massive bolo guy who, I don't know, he's wearing, I don't know, a Rolex or whatever, and then he'll be like, who are you? And then he can't even conceive that to him. He's so shocked. That's like, what? This is me from the future? You could do that if you wanted to, alright? Oh, wait, there's something very important here. Make sure it is in first person, the scene. Because like I said multiple times before, nobody views their life in third person. Nobody's got a fucking drone around that is, I don't know, connected to their eyes, showing them what they look like in third person. Like, I've got no clue what I look like from the back. I could take a camera of my behind, pause. I could take a camera photo of my behind, pause. What I look like from behind, pause. But that still wouldn't reflect what people actually see when they look at me from behind. I don't think I need to add a pause to that. I've done enough times. Anyways, you get what I mean. So visualize it. Imagine the scene in first person. Imagine the first thing you say or think. Now, what is this technique doing? It is basically getting you into that identity, that state of consciousness. Because you're in that state of consciousness, you've now achieved that identity. And because you're now thinking from the end, where you imagine the first thing you think or say after achieving the desire, boom, you're that nigga now. Regardless of the fact that your external life, your external reality is not showing you that you're that nigga. Internally, you think you're that nigga. And the thing is, using this technique prescribed will get you to the point where you won't even look for it externally. And because you're already taking because you're already taking the actions that you need to get there, you'll start taking those actions. You are the blueprint. The blueprint is within you, within the intuition. Like I already said, the intuition has the blueprint, all right? The blueprint will be here. And then those mental nudges which will cause you to take actions which reflect that reality. And there you go. Now all of a sudden, going to the gym is easy. It's not. Going to the gym isn't a struggle. Going to the gym is something you don't have to motivate yourself to do because it is something you do. It is a habit that you already have. Yeah, and with that in mind, I've got one last Bible quote to put here, which basically also corroborates this. This Bible quote is Mark. I was about to say Matthew there. Whoops. Chapter 11, verse 24. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe you have received it, and it will be yours. Are you guys seeing the link here? Are you guys? It's right there. Come on, man. Surely you see that. Surely you see that link here. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe you have received it, and it will be yours. This is the believing right here. This is the you're abusing the fact that your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality, and has no concept of a past or a future, and only your present, and you are literally giving it an experience, which allows for it to create a belief. And you water this belief, you water this seed for it to turn into a belief. By doing this, I've just hit 10k. You're going to emotionally fear it as well while you do this. The aim is to emotionally fear it, not to say it internally all the time. Wait, did I even tell you to say it internally? Oh, I don't think I did. Anyways, say this internally. Think it. You don't have to say it. Think it. And whilst you're thinking it, feel it as well. And don't view it as a chore. It's not a thought you have to spam in your head all the fucking time. It's just a thought that you can come back to now and then. It's a feeling that you can return to now and then. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe you have received it, and it will be yours. For in prayer, this is the prayer here. This is the prayer. This is the metaphysical prayer. Metaphysical just means beyond physics. It just means from a realm of the mental over the physical. Believe you have received it. It's right here, buddy. And it will be yours. This means forget about the external. Alright? Forget what the external is showing you. Look at what you're feeling internally. Look at what your internal state is. And it will be yours. Now, the point of the 7 keys here is something you can use literally as a guiding point. You can, not a guiding point, but like a check-in point, basically. You can write down how your week went or how your day went, and you can literally just self-analyze yourself. What were my current beliefs? What were my beliefs like? What was my convictions here? What was my perception like? What were my expectations? What was I placing my attention towards? What was I reacting to? What thoughts was I thinking that were very strongly emotionally charged? And don't lie to yourself, because like I said before, your identity, your state of consciousness, your frequency, it knows when you're fucking lying. Because you know when you lie to yourself, alright? And there's no point in doing that. And as you're writing this down, as you're noting this down in your journal, whatever, you're realizing whether internal work still needs to be done. And the internal work is this. The internal work is the technique prescribed and the reframing of whatever experiences occur to you. What I mean by reframing is by finding a different perspective that coincides within your desired reality, your desired self. And this is really all of it encompassed here. Now, thank you for watching this video. If you have any notes, make sure to write them down in the comments. And yeah, that is it. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.